Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Dr. Spotfire monthly live session. In this November session, we have Spotfire Data Virtualization demo and use cases. And this is a continuation of a previous demo that we had back in July when we talked about Spotfire Data Virtualization. I have with me Nima. Nima, do you want to say hi to the audience?
Hi, everyone.
And I'm Jose Levi, your host. So before we continue, let's talk about what Spotfire, for those that don't know what Spotfire is. It's a visual data science platform that help people rapidly create interactive visualization and make people smarter, smart people smarter. And the Dr. Spotfire office hours, we have quick tip videos, we have office hours every month, 30 minutes live, and it's an opportunity to ask questions. And if not, you can always ask the questions online at any time. So how does Spotfire works? The Dr. Spotfire program, we gather feedback from different means, from the Spotfire Ideal portal or through the Spotfire community. This is our main channel, or LinkedIn or email. I mean, there are many ways for you to get in contact to us. And then we pass that down to our product development team or internal Spotfire team, the data science team, and we create visual custom visualizations or new data functions, white papers, accelerators, articles, you name it. So we're here for you, and thanks for joining. So our motto is learning is not driven by answers, but by questions. So keep your questions coming, and I will be answering them as we go. So today's session, unify your data with data virtualization, demo and use cases. Again, I'm Jose Levi, your host, and Nima, you want to introduce yourself, and the floor is yours.
Yeah, hi. I'm a lead technical account manager, so excited to be here on Dr. Spotfire today. I've been with TIPCO and now Spotfire for 10 plus years, and looking forward to this session. All right, so let me share my screen.
Okay.
Right, give me 1 second.
While you share your screen, I'm going to talk about the confidentiality and disclaimer. And once Nima has it ready, we can switch to hers. All right.
All right, so agenda today is to start with a quick recap of what DV is. So we have a new branding for the previously known as TIPCO Data Virtualization. So it is SDV now. Our product manager, Crystal from Arrow, gave the session a few months ago. And so we'll do a quick recap of what DV is, and then we'll go through some of the use cases, and we'll then do a short demo of the product platform. And then we'll answer any questions in the end. All right. So complexity and the volume and velocity of data just keeps changing, and it's across industries. This is like a common problem across data orchestration. Like, how do you combine data to make intelligent decisions based on all your data sources? So DV it's an enterprise grade platform in the Spotfire ecosphere. So it integrates all your data silos into a single flow, giving you a single source of analytic truth, right? And along the way, that also adds compliance, and it enables strategic planning for businesses. So yeah, it does combine and reduce data complexity. It connects to over 350 data sources, including streaming data sources. So irrespective of if your data lives in a legacy system, whether it's like MES or or if it's on the cloud, and if it's streaming, whether it's coming from Aviva Pi or an IoT device, DV is able to connect to it, and we're able to combine the data sources. So how it works basically is your data could live anywhere instead of it being in a data silo. DB connects connects them all, and then it transforms the data if you need to make any calculated columns or if you need to aggregate some data, it just lets you combine all of it with the ANSI SQL standard ANSI SQL format. It lets you optimize and cache. DB has like this amazing SQL engine that is built to optimize your data sources and cache. It also allows you to cache your data sources for performance, especially when you're doing historical and millions of records. And it also adds governance along the way, and also lets you surface that to your analytics, or any data source that is JDBC, ODBC compliant. You can just web services. You can just query data from DB from all of those places, and it's real time. The best part of it is you're not moving your data anywhere, so it's all done virtually. So and it's all real time. So some of the use cases, DB is one of those product where its use cases scale both across horizontal as well as vertical use cases. So it can be industry specific, it can be really generic. So some of these generic use cases we see is one, it being used as a data fabric. So obviously it lets you combine all your data sources. So your data silos are now all connected. So you can simplify your data pipelines when you surface it up to your analytics and make your business decisions. So it makes data far less complex for the end user. The other thing is self-service and governed data. So with the velocity of data, you're almost collecting data every second these days. And so it's really important for business end users to have that just as soon as possible. Time to insight is all that matters in business today. So you can enable your users to have governed data and real time, and have them query data as soon as possible, and without them having the having to understand the complexity of where that data is coming from. And another popular use case we see these days, especially with the advent of a lot of cloud, is the data. Cloud providers usually charge by how much data you pull in and out of the cloud, but you also undeniably have your on-prem data sets, and you have your whether they're living in relational databases or flat files, and then you're also combining them with cloud data. So DB lets for you to connect and cache your cloud data, so you don't have to make as many runs to the cloud and bring it back. Also, one of the popular things is like setting up an incremental cache, so you can kind of for these cloud data sources especially, so you're just getting the latest data from the cloud, and you're not going and getting all the data, which can be very expensive if you want to combine it with your on-premise data. So, and also there's use cases for every industry. So if you're in manufacturing, for example, your data can be in, you might have your process manufacturing data coming in from somewhere. You might have your manufacturing sensor data coming in from IoTs. You can have your supply chain, optimizations and everything coming in from another place. You might also want to make sure your machine is maintained and all those things, so you can combine all of your machine data, your process data, and you can also make sure that your manufacturing is optimized overall. Healthcare, again, this is one of those industries where compliance and the governance is very important. So you can add, especially if you're dealing with patient data, you can make sure you're GDPR and CCPA compliant. You can also combine, multiple lab data from and like patient data, and like make and like there's personalized medicine these days, like where you take like a person's lifestyle features and data, and like then you take their other health related records, right, and then kind of combine them and like personalized medicine. You can also, it could be readmission rates, right, so it could be like what procedure have they gone through and what patient data, and just combine those. Again, energy has a lot of use cases. Again, whether you might have seismic data coming in from somewhere, you might have your well data in another place, and so when you want to maintain the well, all those data could come in handy. Like when again, drilling operations is another use case where you can kind of you need real-time data to kind of monitor how the drilling operations are going. It could be like downstream where you're forecasting energy demand. Again, how much demand is there? Are we able to supply? Are we going to meet those demands and things like that? Financial, again, you could have like loans determine good credit, bad credit, and like you might want to have like customer behaviors in coming in from somewhere. You might have the other trends of that age group, or the other factors that are common to them coming in from another place, and so you are able to prototype your decisions for risk management. Also, you're able to detect fraud. You're able to and especially mergers and acquisition is again common across industries. But if you're getting data from multiple mergers, and different companies could be using different platforms, you're able to then combine all that data, integrate it, and make it available. So this is another industry where compliance is important for audit purposes. Again, communications, you could, combine data from, let's say, your churn, how many customers have churned versus, was there a call drop rate coming in from the network? You could combine those and do a churn analysis. You could detect fraud, right? This is by, you could say, user behavior. Again, how many fraudulent spam calls are reported, and then you can combine those data and kind of make those insight. You could get those insights as well. So, a short demo of the DV interface. Sorry.
Yeah, that's great, because we wanted to see how actual Spotfire data virtualization is. And I have one question. Why do I need
Sure.
a Spotfire data visualization if I have a Spotfire Enterprise where I can connect with different sources like data connector or information links? Is it not enough to have a Spotfire and we'll have another tool?
That's a really good question. Spotfire does provide those capabilities of connecting to multiple data sources as well, but the key is performance. Rather than having Spotfire do it, like when it's doing the analysis in real time, if you had DV do those, calculations, then your Spotfire analysis is a lot faster.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
And I also understand that it can handle many other different data sources that you can do on demand.
correct.
Like, for example, large Excel or text files or REST APIs is like out of the box. You don't have to recreate it. Although you can do
Correct.
it with Spotfire.
With Python, you could do it with the Python data function in Spotfire, but if that's a complex thing, you don't have developers to do that, then Spotfire Data Virtualization is definitely the way to go with the number of data sources it connects to.
And the governance of data and all of that, that's when it makes sense to use Spotfire data virtualization.
Correct. Okay. The governance of data too.
Right.
Yes. All good points. All right. So this is like DV Studio. So this is like the primary interface that you will see when you first log in as a developer. So it has sections that I just want to briefly touch on. It has this My Home where you can do your development work. So this means it's not shared with other users, and so you're the only one seeing it. And then you could, when you're ready to share it, you could put things in the shared folder. So, and, as a best practice, we also advise, that you kind of differentiate your physical layer, which will be your data sources, and, just what are the different data sources that you're combining, right? And so, and then you can also have like a business layer that defines these views that you want to combine, right? So, for example, we're going to go through patient data in detail today. So you could have your patient data coming in from one data source. So in here, you see that this one's connecting to a SQL Server database where, it has my patient data and some payer transactions and things like that. And there are some other files that I'm getting, like, procedures, what medications they've had, and things like that coming in from a CSV file. So you're able to combine data across multiple data sources. So, and in the business layer, you kind of define that. So another cool thing that DV lets you do is something called discovery. So you'll see a tab here that says discovery. So it lets you discover your data sources. So again, going back to my modeler, so I could go back and let's say I have no idea how these tables from different data tables, and especially this is true with, again, if you have mergers and acquisitions, you're not really sure how to combine those data, you can kind of run a discovery on them. So what DV does in the background is it goes through all the values in that specific table and in the column and kind of see if there is any match, and kind of it builds that. So it lets you then build like a model. So you can, so I'm kind of just going to go through and so it lets you combine this and like build a ER diagram, so to speak.
Okay.
So you can then understand how you can combine those data sources and then create a view across data sources.
Okay, so this is something that the developer or the admin is going to do, not the end user.
Right.
The end user is just gonna be able to get the data from whatever, so they don't care where it's coming from. They're going to have available all the data. Okay, for them.
Yeah, this is something a DV developer would do.
Okay.
So, and then finally, like once you have defined your, business view, you're able to just simply right click and publish. Again, that's what we call as the application layer. You can differentiate it, or you can right click and do that. So again, these are the published layers essentially. So you can, put it in as a database or as a web service. You can publish it as both the formats. So if you want a web service, or if you have an API that consumes that data going down, as a REST data source or something, you're able to also publish it as a web service. So yeah, any questions so far, Jose?
No, this is great.
All right. Okay. So, and then, we also have like a manager tab. So where you're able to see, an overview of how your server is doing, if all your data sources are up, if it's not tested, you can just, say, for example, you can just say, test it now and kind of, make sure if it's up. So it gives you a good overview of, hey, this data source is down. So, make sure everything is up. So from an administrator perspective as well, DB is just awesome, right? So, and it also lets you take care of your memory. It also tells you how you're doing with the input and output requests. So this is, what the clients are. So DB's clients, which would be like applications like Spotfire and how they're consuming data. This will be the incoming data sources. And so again, we have memory, right? So how the memory consumption is tracking here. Which requests DB are getting. So you're able to see all of those, and you're also able to see your triggers. Like if you have a trigger set up, you're able to kind of see, automations and things like that here. All right. So any questions on the UI or anything you can think of, Jose?
No, it's all good. It looks like a very powerful tool. Very, very complete. How mature is this tool? Many years,
Sorry?
right?
Oh yeah, it's a pioneer actually, because I think composite. So before it was TIPCO, it was composite, and so it's yeah. So it's pretty much a pioneer in the data virtualization space, and I think it still is very relevant. Just because even though the UI might look a little outdated, but it is very a preferred tool because it functions the way it does, and it just functions perfectly. Where with the virtual layer, they've really optimized that SQL engine that I was talking about to where it can do cardinality and kind of ensure it optimizes your query before it sends it, right? So if, like for example, if there are a lot of data that you want to say send in the in clause versus a where condition, it will take care of all of those things for you, so you wouldn't have to worry about all of that.
Okay.
All right. So we'll do a quick, I'm just gonna create a folder here and kind of just show you how easy it is to create things. So I'll probably use this demos folder. Right. So, and then you can just say quick and new data source. And then, you can see all these data sources that DV offers that you can connect to. So when I said, it can be expanded, we also partner with CData. And so, those are adapters that you can add. You can also have a new adapter defined based on a generic ODBC that's defined here. So for my use case, I'm just going to go with a SQL Server database. Right. Has been enabled. So you just enter your host details, your port, okay, and let's see, my name of my database. I think it's oil production. Okay, so just as easy as that, it will just go to the data source and discover your data. This process is called introspection in DB.
Yeah.
So you're able to go in and just get the tables that you're interested in and bring it back.
So it seems that you have a lot of governance, so you can also restrict who can see which type of data, who cannot. And
absolutely. Every data source, every object that you create has a privilege that you can define. Obviously, this is like a test environment that doesn't have a lot of users. But if you had users, and that's another beautiful thing about DB is that it's scalable, and that's what I said. It's enterprise grade. So it supports single sign-on. It supports OAuth authentication to all your data sources. You can just say pass-through login, and you can enable it all the way through the end to where you're getting your data sources using your credentials.
Okay, so when you say governance and restriction, is not only row-level security, but you can also control the
correct. You can
level.
Yeah, who gets to see, who gets to read, who gets to execute. There's also row and column-based security that I will go through in a minute.
Okay.
So, and with with data sources, similarly, you can just create new views. I'm not going to go through all of that in the interest of time. So I'm just gonna, it's very similar. You just click and then you just say new view. You can create like a procedure. You can create SQL script, package queries. You name it. You have all the options, new triggers, and so that's how you do it. So with the business layer, you're able to again combine different things. And so for this, like I said, if you have multiple data sources, as I did for like my healthcare information here, you can always model it and you can combine data. So for example, this is what we were going through earlier. So I can see that, my patient's data, my allergies data, all this is coming, everything in green is coming from that SQL Server database that we have there. And everything that's in blue is coming in from, my CSV files. And so I can write, just look at any of these, right? And so kind of just see the relationship, match details. And so something like 90%, and so it tells you that it's like a many to one, right? Not obviously, some patients have multiple allergies, and so it does discover that there is a many to one relationship there. And then you think if it's a valid thing, you can kind of look at the column details, the rash details, and things like that. If you and it tells you what is the here it says there's 100% match, so I can be pretty sure that this is a valid relation. You can mark it as a valid relation, or you can kind of also create or you can hide it if you don't think you want to use that relation for some reason. You can hide that relation. You can also, the cool thing is you can just say create view off of this example, and then you can also just kind of say model.
Okay.
And create that real quick. So and you can see it creates these columns for you. It creates a SQL. So it's pretty neat where you can kind of also add expressions here to like I was saying, it gives you a whole lot of functions to kind of calculate your own columns and go from there.
Okay.
So I want to also call out, so for example, I open this. So I can, for example, this one is like where you can get the last visit details, right? So I'm just doing a group by. You can kind of irrespective of the data source, even though I'm querying like a flat file in the end, like I can kind of just define it as a SQL and kind of just combine multiple data sources and get things like days since last visit, which wasn't in my original data source. So you can combine and transform data as you go along. And so if you see this icon, it's slightly different, and this is because this is dictated by row and column-based security. So what that means is that so if I test identity here, and so if I run this as myself, then I see a whole lot of records. But let's say we have this user Mike, and Mike is only cleared to get data from Boston. So and if you run that, then you can see my data source is a lot less restricted. So this is where you can test identity. But so depending on if Mike really logged in from Spotfire, then he would only see data from Boston, essentially. So this also is a lot of it adds a lot of value to the developers, and they don't have to create multiple views of like one for Boston, one for this thing. They just create a rule that defines hey, Mike is cleared only for Boston data sources, and it can DV can take care of the rest.
Yeah, and I also see that the social security numbers are masked.
Correct. Yeah, the social security numbers are also masked, and that's like the column-based security. So I was going to show that from Spotfire. So right from here, it's as simple as I say publish, and then you can kind of publish a data source. So and I already have a bunch published here, including this one, right? So I just clicked on it. So I'm not going to do that again. So, but I'm going to go to Spotfire now. Give me 1 second to find my task manager because it's a little hidden. Okay. All right. So this is like my view from Spotfire. So all I had to go in and do was, I had to connect and say, TDV. And it's already connected. So, but, I can pretty much just show you, you combine it and they could connect to it like any data source basically. So just username, password, and your identity and like the database that you want to connect to, and it can do that. And obviously you can come to Spotfire. Spotfire plays a big role in those insights, undeniably. So you can kind of see it can immediately map different things, right? So it was doing patients allergy data, It brought it all together, and now in Spotfire, you're able to see this really cool visualization where it shows the location, so by gender, so we can see like hey, males in this region specifically have a lot of allergies. What allergies do they have? And like you can drive your business solutions to address some of this, like what's going on in Texas. You can drill down and see, oh, what are the things that they're most allergic to. So all this is of course mock data. We take customer data very seriously. So, and also I just wanted to call your attention here where the DB data that we publish with policies. So you can see SSN, your driver's license, your passport. You can again define how much you want it to be masked, right? Do you want to expose? And even that can be at a user level. You can say, hey, again, Jose is clear to see like the last 4 digits, but Colton, on the other hand, can only see like the passport, whether a passport detail is filled or not, right? So you can kind of choose how you do it for different users. So it's a lot less, you know, a lot less of administrative task, right? Rather than you having to create multiple columns, having to do a lot of data manipulation to do the same effect. And like, yeah, obviously you're taking all that data off of Spotfire, so your Spotfire obviously becomes more performant.
Awesome.
So yeah. All right, and I also want to touch base on to go back to. Okay, I'm trying to open.
You want to bring up the slides?
No, sorry. Before I do that, I also wanted to show that there is a web UI to DB, right? So you can again, so this is the self-service portion. So you can kind of just say, hey, what patient data do I have? And
okay, that's for the end users.
Correct, yeah. And so again, like I said, I'm working off of so it's not fully branded. You can see TIPCO, so I'm kind of working off of
The
like
transition.
a pre-built version, right?
Yeah.
And so I also want to call your attention to, and like you can also do your own. So I don't think I have anything published there, but once you do that, you can. So I can sign in to also. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do web UI this time. So there's also this manager that DB comes with. So again, here is where you can define your security, like your domain management, how you plan to, authenticate their users, how you define different groups of people, and so you can give them privileges that way. Your row-based security, the column-based security that I just showed. So again, like you're able to define it once and use it across multiple data sources. Like I could have SSN in more than one data source, and I could assign it differently, but define it just once. So it's a very well thought of product that way. So you can also configure it to have clusters. So performance is lagging, and you want to add another cluster, server there. You could do that, and so
it will replicate the data across.
Yeah, it's built to scale essentially.
Okay. Well, that's very nice. So I can see 3 different personas. You have the developers on the back end making those connections, and the business say, hey, I need to see this data. And then you have the managers will take care of who sees what and the permission level and stuff like that. And then you have the end users consuming all that data.
Correct. Right. So yeah, just wanted to finish off like how Spotfire Data Virtualization provides proven value. Yeah, it provides, like I said, the business friendly views. You don't have to go through, the end user doesn't have to go through the joins and like whatever they have to do to combine multiple data sets and get the data that they want for insight. So, and again, yeah, it's faster time to data. Takes advantage of the latest data source and directly gets it from the source, so you're not you're not replicating data. So that's the difference between ETL tool and Spotfire Data Virtualization. And yeah, self-service data that we just saw reduces IT costs because you're not spending as much time in engineering data. You're not combining data every time you need to analyze it, and also lower replication costs and storage costs. You're also enhancing governance along the way, and also it scales. It's built to scale, like I was saying, right? You can add clusters, you can automate the workflow, and so it's just scalable, and it keeps up with your data. So that's kind of where.
Perfect. All right. So, okay, just let me finalize with these two more slides. Remember that we have this session and other sessions recorded at our YouTube channel, Dr. Spotfire. If you have any questions, you can also comment in the videos directly or through the community, as I said before. Or you can also send us an email at doctor@spotfire.com, and you can suggest new demos, data functions, scripts, anything you liked. We're here for you. Thank you so much, and see you next time.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.